Welcome, Shadow Seekers, to American Shadows, Crimes and Chronicles. Today, we're unearthing a tale that'll haunt your thoughts long after it ends. Whether you're glued to the screen or just listening in, you're in for a wild ride through history's darkest corners. If you're new, hit subscribe to join our mission of exposing America's hidden truths. Regulars, your likes fuel our journey into the unknown. Now, let's peel back the layers of time and reveal the secrets beneath. Ready? Let's begin. America's first mystery, the vanishing of Virginia Dare. Hello, friends. You're watching American Shadows, where we explore the mysteries, crimes, and events that have shaped America's history. Today, we're diving into one of the oldest and most perplexing enigmas in our nation's past, the birth and disappearance of Virginia Dare and the lost colony of Roanoke. This tale, which begins on August 18, 1587, is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a story that has captivated imaginations for centuries and continues to baffle historians to this day. What transforms a symbol of hope into an enduring mystery? How does an entire colony of 117 souls vanish without a trace? And why, more than 4 centuries later, does the fate of Virginia Dare and the Roanoke colonists continue to haunt us? Before we unravel this centuries-old enigma, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you who support our work. Your likes, comments, and shares fuel our passion for bringing these shadowy corners of history to light. As we explore this baffling tale, we'd love to hear from you. What theories do you have about the fate of the lost colony? Have you encountered any local mysteries in your area that have stood the test of time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights might shed new light on this age-old puzzle. Our story begins on the windswept shores of Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. It's 1587, and a group of 117 English settlers has just arrived, led by Governor John White. These brave souls were not the first to attempt settlement here. 2 previous attempts had already failed, but the English were determined to establish a foothold in the New World. Among the settlers was White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, heavily pregnant. On August 18th, Eleanor gave birth to Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. This birth was seen as a symbol of hope, a sign that the English could not only survive, but thrive in this new land. Life in the fledgling colony was far from easy. The settlers' days were filled with backbreaking labor, clearing land, building shelters, and attempting to grow crops in unfamiliar soil. They faced an alien climate, unfamiliar diseases, and the constant threat of starvation. Relations with the local Native American tribes were complex and often tense. The Croatoan tribe, led by Chief Manteo, was friendly, but others were hostile, still remembering the conflicts with previous English expeditions. As winter approached, the colony's situation grew desperate. Their supplies were dwindling, and they needed help from England. Governor White made the difficult decision to return to England for supplies, leaving behind his daughter, newborn granddaughter, and the rest of the colonists. As he bid farewell, little did he know that this would be the last time he'd ever see them. What should have been a quick resupply mission turned into a 3-year odyssey. The outbreak of war between England and Spain, culminating in the famous defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588, delayed White's return. It wasn't until 1590 that he finally made it back to Roanoke. What he found, or rather, what he didn't find, would become the stuff of legend. The colony was deserted. No trace of the 117 settlers, including little Virginia Dare, could be found. The buildings had been dismantled, suggesting an orderly departure rather than a violent end. But where had they gone? The only clue was the word Croatoan carved into a fence post, and the letters CRO etched into a nearby tree. This is where our mystery truly begins, friends. What happened to the colonists of Roanoke? What became of Virginia Dare, that symbol of new beginnings in a strange land? Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. Some believe the colonists were killed by hostile Native American tribes, a theory that played into later colonists' fears and shaped relations with indigenous peoples for generations. Others suggest that they might have been absorbed into friendly tribes, perhaps the Croatoan themselves. This theory is supported by later reports of Native Americans with gray eyes or light hair, attributes that some speculated could be traces of English ancestry. There are theories that the settlers attempted to sail back to England and were lost at sea, a tragic end that speaks to the perilous nature of oceanic travel in that era. Some speculate about Spanish raids, a theory that reflects the geopolitical tensions of the time. Disease outbreaks, always a threat in new settlements, form another plausible explanation. More fantastical explanations have also emerged over the centuries. Some local legends speak of curses or supernatural forces, reflecting the sense of otherworldliness that the New World held for many Europeans. One particularly evocative tale claims that Virginia Dare was transformed into a white doe, forever roaming the forests of North Carolina. While clearly folklore, this story speaks to the mythic status Virginia Dare has achieved in American culture. The lack of evidence and the mysterious carvings left behind have fueled these theories for centuries, each adding another layer of intrigue to the story. Despite numerous archaeological expeditions and historical investigations, no definitive evidence of the colonists' fate has ever been found. But this isn't just a historical curiosity. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony has left an indelible mark on American culture and history. It speaks to our nation's complex relationship with its own origins, the challenges of building a new society in an unfamiliar land, and the enduring mystery of our own past. The Roanoke mystery profoundly influenced later colonization efforts. When the Jamestown colony was established in 1607, the fate of Roanoke was fresh in the settlers' minds. They were more cautious, more prepared, and more determined to maintain strong links with England. The lost colony served as both a cautionary tale and a motivation, a challenge to succeed where others had failed. Virginia Dare herself has become a potent symbol in American mythology. She represents both the promise and the peril of the New World, a child born on the cusp of a new era, only to vanish into the mists of time. Her name has been memorialized in countless ways, from schools and counties to books and films. The story has inspired works of literature, from speculative histories to romance novels, each offering its own interpretation of her fate. In popular culture, the Roanoke mystery has been featured in everything from documentaries to supernatural TV shows. It's been the subject of films, graphic novels, and even video games. Each retelling adds to the legend, keeping the mystery alive in the public imagination. Recent discoveries have shed new light on the possible fate of the colonists. In 2015, researchers uncovered evidence of a small community of Europeans who may have integrated with Native Americans not far from Roanoke. Could these have been the descendants of the lost colonists? In 2020, archaeologists found pottery fragments at a site in the Outer Banks that might be linked to the Roanoke settlers. Each new discovery reignites interest in the mystery, reminding us that history is not static, but a living, evolving narrative. As we reflect on the story of Virginia Dare and the lost colony, we're confronted with questions that resonate even today. How do we reconcile our desire for exploration with the challenges and dangers it presents? What happens when cultures collide in new and unfamiliar territories? And how do we make sense of the gaps in our own history? The Roanoke mystery also forces us to confront the often overlooked human cost of colonization. Each of those 117 settlers had a story, hopes, and dreams. Their disappearance is not just a historical puzzle, but a human tragedy that reverberates through time. This is American Shadows, where we peer into the darker corners of our nation's past and present. Until next time, remember that sometimes the most compelling stories are those without endings. The echoes of Roanoke continue to resonate today, reminding us that America's history is as much about what we don't know as what we do. As we go about our daily lives, let's take a moment to appreciate the enduring power of mystery. The story of Virginia Dare and the lost colony reminds us that even in our modern, interconnected world, there are still secrets waiting to be uncovered. Who knows? Perhaps one day, we'll finally solve the riddle of Roanoke. Until then, the search continues, and with it, our fascination with the shadows of our past. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and keep watching American Shadows. The truth is out there. We just have to find it.